Okay, hello and welcome everyone. Today in this session we are going to discuss the configuration of SSL for Apache Tomcat. What exactly is this SSL term? I think you might be familiar with, or if you are not, I'm going to give you a short overview of this SSL. Actually, this SSL stands for Secure Socket Layer. Secure Socket Layer. Okay, this SSL is simply a protocol that is used along with HTTP in order to provide encryption to the data that is being transmitted over the network, as well as at the same time it provides identity assurance. So it can be summarized as SSL is designed protocol for establishing encryption and identity assurance. Here two terms I am using: encryption and identity assurance. The whole thing is about this two term. If I say this SSL, and recently I must tell you that SSL has been changed or renamed to a new name, that is TLS, that is Transport Layer Security Protocol. This SSL is being used or being practiced by every organization nowadays, like in case of e-commerce or banking application where you are making transaction, you are entering your credentials, you are entering your secret pin number, your credit card number and kind of information. What exactly this SSL is doing in between? Have you ever thought of? Look, suppose I'm a client, I want to make a request, I want to make a transaction, and just for the sake of simplicity I don't want to visit bank and I want to make an online transaction. I open the website for the company, I entered my credentials, then I selected the required options and I entered my credit card number and just submitted. Why didn't this thought came to my mind that this transaction, this information which I just submitted, may be intercepted in between. This interaction between the client and server, it can be intercepted by some third party, some hacker, some fraudsters, and they can steal our information, credit card information, or any even simple user ID or password, and can just misuse it. We should give it a thought first before starting to practice it in our real life. So every time we are going to make such kind of transaction, we are going to interact with such kind of applications, what we see that the protocol that is being used is not the simple HTTP, but it is HTTPS. This S at last indicates this SSL, Secure Socket Layer. What it means that this server to which the client is trying to interact has been authenticated, has been certified as a real owner, as a real website, a real vendor through which the customers or client we can make requests for services. How exactly this happens? Look, the thing is that suppose if you are just using HTTP protocol for making the transactions or communications with the server, it is like plain text information that is being transmitted over the network. Everything you enter there can be intercepted, whether it is visible directly in the browser URL as a query string or not, it doesn't matter. It is there, it is in the body of the request object, and it can be intercepted. It can be like simply hacked by using some technique known as packet sniffing and other ways. So the thing is, we need assurance at the same time that this information will be received by the recipient to which we want to deliver, and on top of it, it should be encrypted also, so that if the packet gets sniffed in between, then also it is encrypted and it should not be decrypted by anybody else. For that encryption and identity assurance, we have this SSL. Let's see a small demo of this SSL first. Suppose I want to access my Gmail account. I enter here gmail.com HTTP protocol I am using here, as we use always for simple communication, common way. Okay, what you see here, this HTTP automatically got changed to HTTPS as the server got a request for this login screen. And here you can see a small lock phase over here. You can click on it and you see a certificate information. Identity of this website you are visiting has been verified by some third party. Okay, let's check over here. this is issued, this is a certificate. Okay, like you can see here, a certificate, small view over here, is issued to this organization and issued by such and such third party. Details of the same can be obtained over here. Even if you visit Facebook, it's a very popular social networking website nowadays, so let's try to visit it. Okay, I go for Facebook, I enter something ID and password and I hit login. As soon as the server receives the request, immediately it responds back to the client with an HTTPS added layer security page to the client. Why exactly this certificate and what exactly does it indicate? Suppose I am entering my information over here. I need an assurance that this user and ID and password should be designated to this website, this URL only that I'm highlighting over here. It should not be intercepted by third website or third party or any kind of hacker or whereas like phishing sites or kind of tools that will sniff my password or my credentials. So in order to be sure, what we need guarantees, we need assurances that this particular data I am submitting to the server will be intercepted by the destined client only. Look here, this term is security. If I say that I am providing my credential, I am a client, I am giving you user and ID and password, and server give me response my page, my home page, my profile page, my photograph page for the Facebook. If the server is asking me to enter my credential, at the same time me as a client also want to authenticate the server. I want an assurance that I am submitting this data, this information to a valid vendor, to a valid application or valid website. So if I need this kind of assurances, here is in scene this HTTPS protocol. The data will be transmitted from client to server and server to client, back and forth in a very encrypted manner and with an assurance that client is sending the data to the server and it is the same server which client is trying to talk with. Like look here, I use the term encryption and identity assurance, both will be provided. These two things that we need and is going to be fulfilled by this HTTPS protocol. Okay, so now see here, as again come to the certificate information for this Facebook. You see it is issued by an organization VeriSign. There are very third party organization like VeriSign, Thorte and EBIC certificates. Lot of organization like VeriSign is an organization that issues these third party certificates. That these organizations are known as CAs. CA means certificate authorities. They authenticate the user, they authenticate the web application which is hosted by a provider so that it can be guaranteed that the customers are not going to be cheated. Like suppose I build a website, a shopping cart, and I want my customer to trust me. I want my customer to come over here and with full trust on me they want to shop over here. So what I need to give them assurance that I am the real person, I am the real businessman, I am not going to hack or steal your credit card information. For that kind of need, what I have to do, I need to develop the application, I need to purchase a hosting provider, hosting space, hard disk space, database space and kind of thing. At the same time I need to buy a SSL certificate if I need to stay in the market, if I need to win, or I can say simply like I want to have trust of my customers, I have to go with this SSL certificates. So exactly the certificates are issued by third party organization which are called as CAs, certificate authorities, and what they issue us, the certificates are a kind of digital document that will provide the identity of this organization or a particular individual that this website is hosted by a trusted organization. So this is all what we are going to see in the next in the coming demo, that how exactly when we develop our web application website how we can make it ready for SSL based protocol and how it is going to be accessed by the end user using SSL security. We need to provide an extra layer of security. So for that thing, first thing is that we need to purchase a certificate. No, we don't need to. Actually we are in the development phase, we need to test the things. Here let me show you. Java comes ready-made with everything. C drive, program files. Here I have my Java JDK. You all know the bin that contains all your Java C and Java interpreter. This is Java interpreter, this is compiler. At the same time, if you search over here, you will find a key tool. Many of us are not aware of this tool. many of the developers or the programmers recently have landed into the Java programming world. That's why I'm creating this video tutorial in order to demonstrate them, make them aware of this key tool. And if you already know it, you can just go through the video for reference how to use it, make a better use of it in real-time environment. Okay, so this key tool is what exactly is this being provided by the Java Sun microsystem. This tool will generate a dummy certificate that will help us developer learn the technology like this HTTPS. This tool is not going should not be used in the production environment. It would be my recommendation. You only issue here some dummy certificate, test it for yourself, and just discard it from your machine. Okay, so this key tool I need to use as a command, and how exactly we are going to use it, let's see here. So first thing first, now I think you are well aware of what is this SSL and why you are using encryption and identity assurance. So let me first start my web server. My web server is here, C drive Apache Tomcat bin, and this path I'm gonna copy here. I say change the directory to the location copied. I say startup. Okay, so well, my server is gonna start within few seconds. You can see the server got started, and the port on which it is started for HTTP request is, you can see here, HTTP 9090. Okay, so I open the web browser. I wanted to make a request for localhost 9090, and I should see a welcome screen from the Tomcat. Okay, this is my application home screen for the web server that is being provided in build. Okay, now HTTPS. If I talk about I want to access this specific web server's home screen or specific application hosted on it, I need to change it to HTTPS. At the same time, the default port for HTTPS protocol is 8443. Like for HTTP protocol, default port is 80. Similarly for SMTP, FTP and other protocols, they are assigned predefined protocols, and I'm going to use this predefined protocol. The predefined protocol is 8443. Of course we can change it and we'll see it later. Okay, so 8443 is the protocol, HTTPS protocol, 8443 is the port, sorry, that we are going to make use of here. Okay, so I hit enter, and okay, what I got here, of course I haven't configured my Tomcat, my web server, to listen for requests on this port number as well as to provide information in an encrypted manner. So I need to do this, and this is the purpose of this video tutorial. So let's come back